What's up, YouTube? I'm Aspie, and you're watching The Worth Shop. So now that we've completed the Ford Ranger repairs for my uncle, let's do some fun stuff for me that I've been wanting to do for a long time. This here is my 96 Freightliner FL70 rollback tow truck. It's got a 5.9 Cummins 12 valve in it, but climbing hills, oh man, she loses some power. So let's start adding some parts, up in the fuel, and building boost. Let's get after it. We are ultimately on our way to installing this BorgWarner K27 Turbo. Came with all the gaskets and seals and everything. We've got a fuel plate for more fuel. We've got bigger governor springs so we can rev the engine a little higher. We've got a boost elbow to adjust the boost levels. But before we start building power, I think the first and most intelligent step that you should do is install some gauges. We want to monitor our EGTs, or exhaust gas temperatures, as well as our boost levels. So I got this here combo gauge, and that's what we're going to do. Go out and get that installed today. There's everything out of the box. Starting to drill. Going into the back of the manifold because on a Cummins, the rear two cylinders run the hottest. I'm choosing to drill in right here. After you drilled it, you tap it to 1/4 inch NPT size. The dumbass making the video said 1/4, but he meant to say 1/8, guys. So now that the hole is drilled and tapped, holding this exhaust gas temperature pyrometer gauge probe up here, just seeing how deep I could run it without it hitting the back. And it looks like pretty much as far as it'll go, because right there it goes into a bend. It doesn't let it deeper. But we'll go ahead and get that started into that hole. Now, I'm personally going to use just a little stubby wrench, so I don't want to strip nothing. I'm going to get that first adapter screwed in nice and tight to the manifold, and once that's tight, then I will angle this how I want it and tighten that collar. I thought about having mine coming up and then zip tying the wires up into here. The more that I thought about that, it's just one more obstruction between me and doing injectors, tightening the injector return lines, etc. So I decided I'm going to go back and wire tie it, zip tie it to this back here, down and around, and then I'll put it in through the firewall over there. There's a reason why I did that first. Phew! Come in the house, cool off, get something to drink. To be honest with you guys, that was the part of the job that had me the most nervous, the most apprehensive, was drilling and tapping that manifold. And so honestly, at this point of the project, I feel like I have accomplished the hardest part of it. The rest of it is gonna be smooth sailing. Hopefully I didn't jinx myself just saying that. Now, one of the first things we're gonna have to do is decide where we want to install our gauges. I was thinking about there, because then I could run the wires down behind that panel, but my little bracket mount won't get it at the right angle. It'd be pointed down then. So then I was thinking about up here on top, but then my wires would have to come down and around and in to the hole here, or I'd have to drill up here to run the wires. I'm just not quite sure yet. Then the next thing I was thinking is maybe just cutting a hole and actually installing the gauge in this here panel. Got that apart, and there's all kinds of stuff behind there, so mounting it to that panel is not gonna work. I ended up deciding to mount it right there. I bent that down so that it will fit between this in the dash. I'm going to double sticky tape and throw a couple screws in up there. And I've got this all dismantled so that I can route wires down and around everything. I had to move it over a little bit because of the contour of the windshield. I couldn't get my drill in there to start holes. I couldn't get a screwdriver quite straight enough. So I moved over a tad bit, but that's fine. Routed that wire up behind there and up to where we're going to be mounting the gauge. Now, time to figure out where we're going to put this sensor for our boost gauge. So if I was installing the new turbo right now, which gets its boost signal or boost pressure to the wastegate from its own housing, we'd be able to eliminate this line and tap in right there off the back of the AFC, which would actually be ideal. But I'm not installing my new turbo right now, so that makes it a little more difficult. And one of the places that I'm thinking about going in is right here at the side of the intake. That one back there feeds the AFC. This one would be all on its own. But I'm not sure if I will be able to fit my lines and not hit the injection pump. So I went through all the trouble finding the right size Allen wrench, taking the plug out, getting that installed, and I was right. It's just too close to that injection pump to make it work. So I removed this piece of hose that sends boost over to the wastegate thing on the turbo, and I went to Home Depot and I got a T and that piece that I just dropped. So the piece that I just dropped is going to screw into here. This is going to screw into there at the back of the AFC, which will then leave me two openings. One for my gauge and one to send signal over through that hose again. So that's basically what we've got. We've got the hose still going over to the wastegate of the turbo. And in here, we've got our boost sensor, and that's going to go into the gauge. And I'm going to eventually switch out that piece for the adjustable boost elbow and see if I can get the boost pressures up with my stock turbo. But yes, I do have an aftermarket turbo. I just feel like this would make some decent content. I see a lot of people doing work on Dodges, but not a lot on medium duty trucks. Since I've got a medium duty Freightliner rollback, I might as well put it to good use and make some content. Got the wires routed up the side. I'm going to plug in all the plugs where they go, put the gauge in there. There's still one more set of wires that's going to go to a transmission temperature, but I don't have the fittings for that yet. And then the other wire we've got to run to switch power and constant power to run the gauge. So, excuse some of this wiring. It's all the switches and wires that go up to my panel from the tow truck. Strobes and thises and that's and the other things. I didn't install it all, but I am trying to clean some of it up. So I ended up using one of these little stud deals, and so now one post is constant power, one post is switched power, so that I can run things off of it. And that's where I ran my wires to from the gauge. But let's go ahead and switch it on and see what happens. Bing, 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 bing. Oh. Looks like it's come on and it's working. We gonna go for a drive? Huh? We gonna go bye-bye? Scoot over. We got no boost yet. Guess we gotta get to to a hill or something. Try to get some boost up. About all I'm getting up to is around 2 pounds of boost down here on the flat ground. But I'm gonna climb a hill and we'll see what happens going up the hill. If we're able to get better numbers. Still only 2 pounds is all I'm getting. Oh, probably like 3. Under 10, we'll say 5, about 5 pounds of boost is about all that we're producing, guys. EGT says about 940. And I am losing boost now. Study climbing up to 990, 994. I've known I wasn't getting much boost and I wasn't building much power. Now we're gonna climb this hill from a dead standstill. We'll see what kind of numbers we get. Staying super low. Like I said, about 5 pounds is all I'm getting. EGTs are down around 570 though. Pretty low EGTs. Alright guys, so as you just seen, those boost numbers are absolutely atrocious. Is what I'm going to do is remove this fitting here and I'm going to replace it with this adjustable boost elbow, which will then tell the turbo to make more boost because it's not registering them as much. This does not allow as much pressure through, so therefore the wastegate on the turbo does not open and it continues to make boost. On one of my previous trucks, I was able to make 30 pounds with stock turbo, but we'll see what happens with this guy in this truck. Okay, so I got the adjustable boost elbow installed there. You can reinstall the hose, and then we'll go for a drive again. I'm bringing a hex key that fits that boost elbow so I can adjust it, because you don't just want to max out your boost. Honestly, from what I've heard and read, around 27, 28 pounds is what you want to do on a stock turbo stock engine. Let's do us a flat ground pull. See if it comes up any higher than it did before. Oh yeah. Just flat ground and we're already up into over 10, 11 pounds right there. Heck yeah, that boost elbow did something, guys. And you can hear that turbo. Heck yeah. We're building a little more power now and we ain't even gotten into the fueling and whatnot. You can hear that turbo when I let off now. Let's hit the hill. This is the same hill, basically same route that we took last time. We're all the way up there above 15 already. About 15 pounds is what we're building. EGT's 1100. It's like driving a whole different truck. Holy moly. 1130 is about what the EGTs are saying. Boost wise, up around 15 pounds. So we definitely are building more power than we did before. I'm going to turn around and do a pull right up the hill like we did last time, and we'll see what kind of numbers we're getting. Okay, we'll do a pull. Second gear, exactly like I did last time, just right from a stop and on up a hill. Basically, we got up to 15 almost instantly, and EGTs never went over 900. Oh my gosh, guys. You just watched us go from 5 pounds of boost to 15, and it is like driving a whole nother truck, climbing hills. Yeah! So hit that subscribe button. You want to watch us build more power with this old truck. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Till next time, believe in your God-given hands, take on some projects, keep building shit.